Hello students, in our previous lecture video, we have completed the detailed estimate of a 60 centimeter wall, and in today's lecture video, we are going to discuss about a numerical based on load estimate. As you can remember students, that previously I have made a lecture video on road estimate. In that video, we had calculated or estimated the cost of earthwork for a portion of road which was having only banking work. So in today's lecture video, I have taken up another kind of numerical, and here both cutting and banking work is to be done. So we will try to understand this numerical. If you have not seen the previous lecture video, I suggest you first go to lecture number 5 and watch the video completely, and then watch this video. Students, these numericals based on road estimate are very simple, and you can understand these numericals very easily, and these are very mark fetching also. So try to work out these numericals repeatedly in your copies, so that you will be confident before your semester exams. So with this note, let's see this numerical. Here the question says that estimate the cost of earthwork for a portion of road for 400 meter length from the following data. So the data are given here. The formation width of the road is 10 meter. Side slopes are 2:1 in banking, and 1.5:1 in cutting. Alright. So next, what data are given? So as you can see, this table. So the data are given here in tabular form. So station, distance, reduced level of ground, and reduced level of formation are given in a tabular form. So stations are mentioned from 25 to 35, and the corresponding distances are mentioned in meter. Here for station number 25, the distance is 1000. For 26, the distance is 1040 meter. So the change between station number 25 and 26 is 40 meter, and so on. Between station number 26 and 27, the change is also 40 meter, as in station number 26 the distance is 1040 meter, and in station number 27 the distance is 1080 meter. And the corresponding reduced level of grounds are also given here. So the station number 25 is having reduced level 51 meter, and 26 is having reduced level of 50.90 meter, and so on. The reduced level for different stations are mentioned over here. And the reduced level of formation at station number 25, here it is 52 meter, and we are having the road with downward gradient of 1 in 200. As I have already mentioned in lecture number 5, I'm going to mention this thing again in this lecture video, that whenever you approach the numericals based on road estimate, always prefer to answer on a blank page and start answering from the bottom of your copy or bottom of your answer sheet. So first you have to draw a rectangular box like this, where you have to mention the distance in meter, and here you can also mention the stations also. The distances are mentioned in the given data. So 1000, 1040, 1080, 1200, and so on. Distances are mentioned up to station number 35, over which another rectangular box is made, where the corresponding reduced level of the ground are mentioned, over which another rectangular box is drawn, where the reduced level of formation are mentioned. So the first reduced level is already given in the question, which is 52 meter. The next reduced level we can calculate it from the formula. So the formula is previous formation level, which is 52 minus slope into the chain edge. So this is equals to 51.80 meter. In the similar manner, we can calculate the reduced level of formation at different stations. After calculating all the reduced level of formation, we have to draw another rectangular box in order to show all the height of banking and depth of cutting. As you can see here, students, the reduced level of ground is 51 meter at station number 25, whereas the reduced level of formation is 52 meter. That means the natural ground surface is below the formation level of the road. So we have to mention the height of banking here, which is calculated as 52 meter minus 51 meter, which is equals to 1 meter. So see, height of banking is mentioned below the rectangular box. So up to station number 30, the natural ground surface is below the formation level of the road. So up to station number of 30, we have to mention all the height of banking. Whereas from station number 31 to station number 35, the natural ground surface is above the formation level of the road. As you can see, the reduced level of ground is 51.20 meter, whereas the reduced level of formation is 50.80 meter. So here we have to find out the depth of cutting. So if we subtract the reduced level of formation from the reduced level of ground, we are going to get the depth of cutting. So 51.2 minus 50.8, which is equals to 0.40 meter. That is the depth of cutting. In the similar manner, we can find out the depth of cutting for the remaining stations. After which, we have to draw the longitudinal section, where we have to draw the natural ground surface, and we have to show the formation line of the road. So as you can see, this longitudinal section, you can observe that between station number 30 and 31, both banking and cutting work is done. So between station number 30 and 31, we have to find out the distance for which banking work is done and the distance for which the cutting work is done. And we already know the distance between station number 30 and 31 is 40 meter. As you can see this portion, the depth of banking here is 0.3 meter, whereas the depth of cutting is 0.4 meter. So if we enlarge that portion like this, the depth of banking 0.3 meter and the depth of cutting as 0.4 meter, and the distance between two stations is 40 meter. So from station number 30 up to the point where the formation level of the road and the natural ground surface intersect is assumed to be x, and after that point up to station number 31, the distance is taken as 40 minus x meter. So now you can solve this as a similar triangle. So x divided by 0.3 equals to 40 minus x divided by 0.4. If you solve this equation, you are going to get the value of x as 17 meter. So 17 meter is the length of banking portion, whereas 40 minus 17, which is equal to 23 meter, is the length of cutting portion. So once you have done all these things, half of your work is done, then you have to make the table. So in the table you have to mention the station, the distance, the height or depth of difference of ground level and formation level, the mean height or depth. You have to calculate the central area, which is having a formula of BD, where B is the formation width and D is the mean height or mean depth. The area of sides we have to calculate by the formula SD square, where S is the side slope and D is the mean height or mean depth. Then we have to calculate the total area of the section by adding the area of central portion and the area of the sides. And we have to make another column showing the distance between stations, and then we have to calculate the quantities by multiplying the distance between stations with the total area of the section. And we have to find out the quantity of artwork in banking as well as in cutting. So all the stations are mentioned in the first column, where you can see between station number 30 and 31 as the formation level of road and the ground surface intersects. So it is mentioned that it passes from banking to cutting, and the distance is mentioned as well at a distance of 1217 meter. Difference between ground level and formation level is 0. All the height or depth of difference of ground level and formation level are mentioned as well, after which the mean height or depth is calculated. So 1 plus 0.9 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.95 meter. Next, 0.9 plus 1.1 divided by 2, which is equal to 1 meter. 1.1 plus 0.6 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.85 meter. And similarly, the other mean height or depth are calculated. Then central area is calculated by multiplying the formation width, which is 10 meter, with the mean height or the mean depth. Area of side are calculated by the formula SD square. Here you have to be a little bit cautious as the slope is 2:1 for banking and 1.5:1 for cutting. So since from station number 25 to up to station number 30, banking work is done, so here the S value will be 2, whereas after the banking portion, the value of the side slope will be 1.5. Then total area of the section is calculated by adding the central area and the area of sides. And the distance between the station is 40 meter. So the total area of the section is multiplied with the distance to find out the quantity of banking, and then next the quantity for cutting are also calculated. Then the total quantity for banking is calculated as 1821.95 cubic meter, whereas the total quantity for cutting is calculated as 1384.98 cubic meter. And the rate per unit quantity of work is 275 rupees for banking, and it is 350 rupees for the cutting work per percentage of cubic meter. So as per this, the cost is calculated as 5010.36 rupees for the banking work and 4847.43 rupees for the cutting work. And 3% of contingencies and 2% of work chart establishment amount is added, and the grand total becomes 10,350.68 rupees. So thank you students. If you have got any doubts, you can ask me.